Got it.
All right. Great. Oh, yes, Matt.
Hi, Ishmas.
Right. Great. So yeah, what we want to start with is basically like stacking the body. So basically like getting the body in the center. So we use the 𝒍𝒂𝒂𝒃 exercise that we use normally, but in this case, we're about really finding the middle of the movement. So the first one is kind of really just like the normal one, but just feeling that sense of the length from the ground. Just finding really the midpoint where the body just kind of sits all on top of it. So just want to feel stacking feet really under the hips. The shoulders just nice and relaxed out to the side. And then we'll just look at this basically this mid-range as well between like being stiff hard and being like loose. And where you want to be like where the body, the tension is kind of taken out of the body, the tissue kind of lengthened and kind of relaxed and deep and heavy. So we'll just play this like really like feel like you kind of loosen everything off like feel like a puppet. It's like the strings have been cut basically. So it's like everything's kind of loose. And then play with like tightening everything up. So like from the feet, the hands, everything coming up onto the toes. Stretch it out, and then just play with the sense like you release the body into the ground, but again, you've got that sense like length through the tissues. The body's kind of stacked, long, and it's got a kind of tension is kind of wrong word, but just play this. You're going to loose, and then you tense, draw everything up, and relax everything. Just let it lengthen, especially the arms. So letting them sink to the sides, letting the spine lengthen. Just relax. Relax it. And tense it. Release it. Okay. And we'll look at the front and the back again. So there's these kind of 𝒍𝒂𝒂𝒃 exercises we're using. What I want to do is start big, so you kind of make the swing big front and back. And then just play with making it smaller and smaller. And you just want to find the position right in the middle of the base, the body. So you just make it smaller, smaller, just the point where you kind of feel the body just relax down into it. It's that point where you don't feel like you're holding anything. So it's just like, it's just sinking down. It's just point at rest, basically. So a few, so just nice, big, and then just start to make it smaller. Tight movement. Just want to find that point of rest. Yep. And we'll do the same to the sides again, just nice big movement to start swinging. And then just start to let it settle. Again, just looking for that midpoint where the body can just stack, sink into the center and settle. Small. We'll do the one which is working for this circular movement. So letting the body circle around. And again, just make it big and then small. And you're just looking to slowly work your way into the middle of the legs. Just that point you don't feel like you're holding anything. Just settles down. Just both legs. Standing in the middle of the feet. Okay, perfect. We'll do another one now. Ooh, starting with the hips. So what you're gonna do is it's like splitting the shoulders and the hips away from each other. So let the hips stay facing the front. And you're just gonna gently twist the shoulders out of the structure, about 45 degrees with the body. And then just feel that again, that sense where the shoulders and the hips basically line up. So looking to now create a split with the hip. And then you just want to feel when the shoulders come into line and kind of settle into the hips. So first creating a separation. Bring it back. There's a separation. Bring it back. And then feel like, just take the hips as far as you can with it. Feel that the shoulders and the hips go together. The best way to think about this is think about the belly button and the nose basically traveling together. So if just take it as far as you can, basically keep this in alignment. So you're basically looking like a box alignment between the shoulders and the hips. Just as far, you can basically keep them going together. Kind of couple into the hips to shoulders. We'll do another working from the knees and the elbows. So with this one, you're going to keep the arms to the side, coming out to the side. We also feel is that as you bend the knees, release the knees, let the elbows just kind of release down. It's just kind of small movement. You just want to be really precise with it. So you just want as you bend, straighten the knees, just straight and bending the elbows. So it's like that down, that out. Down, that out, down. Just want them really to work together, so just really slow. Okay, good. And then the last one, you kind of link the hands and the feet. It's a bit of a strange exercise, but you're going to kind of, as if you're kind of suctioning up with the hands this way. And you want to do a similar thing with the feet. So it's like a little bit like the feet are kind of gripping in. So you're going to like activate the arch in the inside of the foot. And you just want to feel like you're kind of coupling them. So you want to kind of, as you're drawing the hands close, yeah, it's as if you're kind of drawing the foot up. It's a little bit like you're kind of picking something up with the foot. And just kind of bringing the fingers towards the palm. It's like very subtle movement. But again, just play with kind of coupling them together. You can do one side and the other, or you can try both together, but the key again is just get them kind of working together. Just making a really clear link with the to the feet together. We'll just take the swings across the body, especially now with the body. You just want to kind of link everything together. So as you draw into the lower body, keep the legs kind of strong. Just let the arms release. The same kind of connections. And once again, definitely keep the shoulders and the hips just kind of falling onto each other. Hips drop a little bit back, keeping that kind of alignment. I'm just looking as you release the knees, let the elbows release as well. And this one, just taking into a little bit of twist, sliding the hip into it. And just focus on one side, just let the weight kind of sink towards one side. You also just switch one side, it's a, it just kind of make a link down that whole right side of the body to the same side, or left side. So I finish sliding the weight for a second. And then just change it slightly. So you want to feel that you can basically send the hand anywhere now. So just play with the hip, that connection into the hand. You can kind of throw it when you're on the body. Just let it kind of go. But trying to send the intention from the hip to the hand without so much of kind of holding it, carrying my arm over it. Just let it kind of whip across. Okay, we're going to a little bit of 𝒂𝒂𝒿. So keep it walking. Yes. So we'll do a set of this, just working with the, so we'll just start with the shoulder width posture, and just starting with really just swinging through. So just finding the back and just releasing down. So just working this end to get keeping that kind of box with the shoulders in the air. And linking the feet, the hands, hips, the knees, elbows. And work together. So it's just kind of medium pace with it. Really trying to like not interfere with the soil, just like pass straight through the center. Okay, we're to the next one. Do this really slow. You basically want to go at a speed where you go as slow as you can stay in motion, basically. So you don't want to stop at all in it. But you want to go at a speed where I can basically, you're gonna, in this one, you're just gonna reach the horizontal with it, but no power in it. But just have that sense you kind of reach up, but take it basically as slow as you can, go all the way to the top. Just like as slow as I can keep everything in motion as you reach the back. And again, keep that same kind of pace going down. Releasing, dropping. This going starts really good for noticing. I'm kind of interfere with the weapon at all, so it's just really nice way to watch out for specific points where the hand starts to take over or starts kind of lead with the right. Just nice kind of control swing. That's as slow as I can keep all the body in motion. You want everything's kind of moving equally as well. So it's just kind of testing that connection with the between the hands, feet, knees, elbows, shoulders together. Yeah, and this is a nice one. You can do this with a mirror, or where you can see yourself, or where you've got a kind of clear line. You can kind of trace the sword down. So you want to really notice. You want to notice where the sword's kind of going, waving around the line. You just want to kind of pass it straight through. The more kind of settle the body down, the calmer the tip of the sword will be there. Settle. The sword is light. This is nice to do with a heavier weapon as well. Just a couple more. And then just take it to a more kind of cutting phase and bring the focus into it. So you're just cutting more. And if you've got a line that you can use, just use it to kind of track the sword down. Okay, good. We'll just take it into the first submarine now. So just working with the feet. The main thing is feel the ground now go really shift into that back leg. So all the weight in the back leg, 99% in the back leg. And then just going shifting the weight into that front foot. Spreading it to 50-50, but that sink down vibe. Spreading the weight to the back. Sinking into it. Take it a little bit of Zengo. So just focus on that shift of the weight with rotation out. Into the foot, sink and settle it. Sink, settle it. Sink, settle it. So really driving it from the ground. To the hip and to the hand. So we'll just play a little bit with placing the weight. So just do play with a really simple shomanuchi. As much as you can, you've got kind of smooth floors. Keep the feet kind of gliding on the floor. So the steps like a sliding step. So just want to keep the focus on the ground, so that I'm not kind of, the main thing is not to push out so much. So it's really to make the distinction between like pushing out of the ground here, and that's something you sink the weight in and press the body out this way. So we'll just play with this forward to start. We'll just give that sense that the feet just get released by the pressure out and come into it this way. So just a nice simple shomanuchi. Yeah. So the main thing here again is that everything moves together. So together. And it just plays a little bit of the outward. Again, it's just focusing on the weight, sinking down to the front leg, drawing back, drawing the leg up this way. On the right side. I think feet kind of skim the ground.
So Michael, the feeling is the same on the front foot, right? Yeah. Even you go backwards, the feeling should be like forward feeling of.
If you play with them both, the impulse from this one is if you go forwards, it's going to come from the back leg.
Yeah.
Right. And then if I want to go backwards, I'm going to press into the front leg this way.
Yes. Yes, but.
So
that is true, but the cut, the feeling of the cut, if I'm not mistaken, should always be like the front.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Feeling of the cut.
To the front. Yeah. So yeah, what you don't do is that where I'm pulling back. So yeah, I want to move back but extend forward that way.
So
So
basically,
if you think about like time angle, or you think about this where you're coming back and more extensions forward that way, rather than like I go back and I go back with the knee.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's that sense like that. So kind of keeping it forward that way. So yeah,
Okay.
same feeling. Just mix them in a little bit, front and back. Okay, good. It's a little bit separate. So we're going to 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒖𝒄𝒄. Just first play on the spot, so just make it nice and easy on the spot. It's just focusing on the key thing here with this one is getting that sense that the knee releases the movement here. So allow the knee in the front leg to release you into the cut. Release into the cut. Yeah, the key thing is not the feeling of kind of pushing off the back leg, but just that sense of kind of sink the weight into this side, let the knee release, and then find the cut. So that's the kind of pushing movement. Just releasing the knee to the front leg. Shift the weight, release it. Does that feel like you're going underneath the foot? So.
Michael,
Yeah, sure.
when I do 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒖𝒄𝒄 especially, what's the right place of the shoulders? Because, for example, I cut. My shoulders are coming a little forward, so it's difficult for me to keep them. But it doesn't feel comfortable. Keep them really open. So, is that necessary to have these really open shoulders?
Yeah, I think of them. Let's see. It's like the difference. It's like, yeah, you don't want them to be open because it's like where you cut in. I don't really like widen the shoulder that way. I want the shoulder to be like rolled down that way.
So the chest open, but shoulders are.
Yeah. So it's like you want to create width in the chest this way, but I don't want to, in a sense, like, yeah, I don't want to pull the shoulders back in a way where they're like, well, they're in that position. Like, let's see, like that kind of position. Now the shoulders are like pulled back, but what that does is pulls the arms into the body.
Yeah,
so like,
that's the problem. It pulls the arms and the body. Yeah.
Pulls the shoulders back. So you want that feeling where the shoulder, the extension's forward. So this part of the arm's like forward. It's not kind of stuck to the body like that way. So if like the arm's stuck there, then I've lost the extension. So I want that sense that the elbow's actually free of the body.
The right is much more natural.
Yeah, the right that tends to be the tricky one because
left.
So the main thing with that is think about the tricky thing's the right shoulder, because I want to keep that sense of extension out the right, but I don't want to take it too far that it's pulling away from the hip this way. But I don't want to be too tight that it's like stuck to the body and I end up in a position like that. And then there's no extension out of that arm. So keeping the feeling of left like I'm cutting out with it. but it's still sitting, the shoulder's still sitting into the hip, but the arm's actually extended. The arm's extended away, especially the elbow, and that's it. But it's not kind of there, stuck to the body. Now it's a bit tight. So that's it, keeping the shoulders, the chest wide open, but not like I'm pulling the shoulders back. Just letting them roll down.
So when you cut with the left, this left arm is kind of attached to the body, right? Because of this again. Yeah. So there's no problem because I feel like I have to attach, otherwise it's too far. So I need it like here so that my other shoulder doesn't go forward.
Yeah.
If I open this. So it's like the left is attached, right is a little bit to keep the shoulder in place.
Yeah. Look, just play with it a little bit, but it's like I can overextend it, where the shoulder gets pulled out.
Shoulder pulls out.
Yeah, pulled out. I can go like under extension, right? Tight. It's tight to the body, but it's like there's nothing leaving, or there's nothing going out.
Too tight.
Yeah, it's like stuck. Now both of them are stuck to the body. So it's fun.
It's more like the upper arm is a bit attached, but the other is released.
Yeah. So you got the elbows like released.
Yeah.
So you got that kind of rather than that where it's kind of stuck. It's just find that right kind of sweet spot, and just the amount where I kind of also. This is where that hand really matters, like how I adjust it, or how far you adjust it, or if you even need to adjust it. It's like if you don't need to adjust it, then you don't need to. In my case, I need to drop it a little bit to find that extension. The key thing is that extension out the right arm. It is different from the right side, but it shouldn't feel different in a way. I should keep that sense of extension. Right side extension gets the left side extension. Should still have that sense that it's extending away. So keep playing with that, just go into now stepping with it. So again, keep that feeling, you're basically going to release the knee with it. The key thing here is that sense of not to push from the back leg, but again, just that sense that you receive into the front foot. And then play here really with the sense that the weight's coming through into the cut this way, into that leg. So
you can press on the front foot and go in.
Yeah, just have this. Basically, it's like you've got the weight 50-50, and then it's like the body starts to rock over the foot, increases the weight in it, and then the knee's just going to kind of release the body. And then just look in this case as you step in, the weight's going to sink into that front leg as you find it, the cut. So it's just a kind of transfer of weight across the body. In the same way with the 𝒊𝒏𝒕 that way.
Yeah, sink in the front.
Yeah. And in this case, you're just going to shift it across the feet. But in this case, look for the weight there. The weight in the step. So as you step in, the weight there, the cut. And then the back foot's just going to drag into a line to make the next step. The weight's basically the weight's pressed in with the step. Okay, we'll take it to the number 7, just working with a simple form. So just work with cut off the front leg. And then you want to play with, in this case, you've got the shift of the weight again across into the front leg. And the strike's going to kind of, the thrust's going to come from that movement. So that's in, and then let the hips open as you swing into the foot. 1, and then 2. And the weight's coming through the ski with the step. A little bit with bringing them together, so just look for now, sense of this, you go into it. So what you're looking for now is the impact through the cut, this, to take you into the thrust. So just look for now, so basically think of timing, you've got the focus, and as soon as I snap into it, to let the body press into the thrust. So just work from my kind of basic position, but you've got that to that.
Michael,
Yeah, sure.
between the time you cut and let's say it's in this distance, this distance doesn't change, right? You just walk in without doing any extension with your arms. You just walk in.
And there's a slight release in it, in that if I'm in this position, I'm letting the center press in. So there's like this. There's a kind of softening in the arm.
During the transition, but the distance between your, let's say, center and the bokken, let's say you cut here, you release because otherwise it's going to be too hard, but you don't extend it at all when you finish the entry, right? It's like your body moves in and that's it.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Or are you a little bit while you're getting into this? Are you extending with your arms a little bit?
Yeah, there is a difference. Like if you think about these, if you go like just play this skill like showman, yokomen, and this ski. In this case, the arms are a little bit further away. So the shomanichi is like here, right? It's quite tight to the body. If I make this into a yokomen, it's a little bit further, further. If I go to the ski, even more extended. Now, just play with this, but just notice the right arm especially. So the right arm really gets extended away. So you got like the showman here. This is quite tight. Yeah, even the elbow is quite tight to the body. And then if I open this out, yokomen, elbow's a little bit further away. And then if I go into the ski, now it's really this far away from the center. So that distance is that distance is increasing. So as you go now into the ski from here, if you make this like also, if you go like showman here and then into the ski, that's a big change.
Okay. So
clear extension away. And even
if you cut showman, when you're entering, you extend to hit, but when you're yokomen, it's already further, you just walk in.
Yeah, there's still a little bit of extension, so there's still a little bit of extension away, but not, it's in a way I want to think about that rather than the hands pushing away from the hip, I think about the hip pressing the arms out. So it's like the best way. Yeah, if you think about like your 𝒉𝒂𝒃 something like the hip extending the arm more, this kind of feeling. So like that kind of feel. So as I roll through the movement, I want the hip to extend into the elbow that way. But there's a clear difference. Like if you go like it's like the difference between like a tiny hingo position, the elbow's really close to the body here, or like this kind of position where the elbow gets close, farther away. And then if you go like a 𝒉𝒂𝒃 kind of position, then that extension is really different. So it's in a way it's like trickier for the sense kind of control. So but just play with it, working with 𝒊𝒂𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒂𝒃, but especially just notice what's happening in the right arm. Especially the elbow is a good key for the extension. And the way that the extension is different because the hips are different. So like if you go like the 𝒊𝒂𝒂𝒃, the hips are like straight in front there.
Yeah.
Now, if I change the hip, I'm in that position, and if I change the hip, I'm in that position. So it's really it's a different arrangement of the hip, which is affecting the arm.
Okay.
That's really what we want. The change against the hip rather than like not so much I'm throwing the arm out, but when I change the hip and that extension changes through it that way. We'll just build this together. Just keep it really slow to start. So you want to what you're looking for is to blend the whole movement together. So you've got the strike into the key, into the strike, into the key. But just working first with no real sense of focus, just the kind of placement of the feet through the movement. So you've got the weight to the front leg, shift. And especially now the back leg, keeping it nice and flexible as you go in. That. That's just kind of walking through it, but with that shift of the hip. Just slowly. Okay, quick. And then just slowly bringing the focus into the strikes. So you have now a sense of extension and a focus. And a tricky part now is to follow after the ski. So that. Keeping the weight through the movements. This last week, where you start at a distance, just using 2 strikes now. So walk towards kind of a target and just play with 2 strikes consecutively. They can be anything. But just have that sense of kind of walking into it. Find a second. And then find another. You can stick to the same or change it, but just want the sense that you're going in. Strike. Strike. Careful movement. Very good. Okay, very good. Let's stop. Okay. どうもありがとうございました。
どうもありがとうございます。
Very good. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Very good.
See you on Wednesday.